That's right, we're back in the shop, and this is the 15 minutes that changed my life forever. If you want to know how I went from 0 subs to over 1,000 subs in under 51 days, then stick around. This is my story, and this is how I did it. You know, I can't believe it. I never had any experience, and all I've used is this old cell phone and a laptop with Windows 8 I got free from the dump. And for all you subscribers that have actually made this possible, thank you very much for putting in all that time. I know everybody thinks I came out of nowhere, but did I really? No, I didn't. I wanted to figure out how I was going to make more money for my family. Yes, everybody was having tough times. We didn't know how we were going to get through it, and this is just part of my story, and I'm not going to get into that. That's not what we're here about. But I tell you what, I ended up falling into e-waste. That's right. I turned on the old tube there and I started diving into e-waste, and I went down a deep rabbit hole, but I learned a lot of information along the way. Why was I trying to do that? Because I worked a 9 to 5 job. Just like anybody else, you or anybody else in this world, I worked with individuals with handicaps, and I helped develop small businesses for them, and I helped them have viable, sustainable incomes throughout their life. I did that for over 20 years of my life, and it was really fulfilling, although it was a hard time filling the bills. Everybody knows how that goes. Everybody can relate to that. So I ended up getting a second job as a cook. So I would get off of work at 4 o'clock in the evening, and I would go work as a cook until 10 o'clock at night. 4 nights a week for that and 5 nights a week for the other job. I did that for 10 years. And we're not here for that, but you have to understand why I had such a drive to do something different. My job was fulfilling, but hey, I needed something else. So after spending 20 years helping people being a work therapy technician, I thought to myself, Scrooge, why can't you do that for yourself? And it worked. It really, truly worked. I know a lot of people say you can't make money in e-waste, and they see this and they're like, that's not that much gold. Well, I tell you what, we're not here about the gold right now, but yes, you can make a lot of money. If you guys want to check it out, watch my other videos. There was such a gap in information that people believe that this stuff is brass. 80% of the people I walk by believe that these clips and stuff like this are brass, and there would be no gold in there. So unfortunately, there is a major gap in that, but that's where I found how to make my profit. People don't care to have time to take this stuff apart, and they don't want to pay to get rid of it at the dump. That is how my small business works, and that's not what we're here about, but that's how I got here. So in making this channel for my family and my friends to see exactly what I do inside of my shop all the time, you guys started clicking that subscribe button. And it started off as a few, and then I started to figure out a few things. And I started to realize that you guys found this interesting just like I did. So here I am. We're continuing down that road, and I hit 100 subs, and I'm getting super excited now because my son told me that there was no way I was even going to get 100 subs. Well, I figured out how to get 100 subs. How did I do that? I started figuring out exactly what you guys were interested in, what you wanted to see, and kind of what got the clicks. Although that sounds cringe right now, but at the beginning, you need to be able to do that. How do you do that? You start coming up in searches. Yes, how are people going to find you if they do not know you exist? So I started using a search-based profile, kind of. I went and I used tags, and I used all the different words and everything I could imagine to describe this stuff. What is this stuff? It's e-waste. It's gold. It's free gold. It's ceramics. It's CPUs, IC chips, BGAs, gold connectors, RAM BGA, gold fingers, all that stuff. I'm only describing that so you guys can use some of the words that I use to describe my channel. I also use things like what's inside my PC, because guess what? I wanted to make sure that whatever I put out there is what channel I wanted. Now I understand that there was other people who wanted the same stuff. So they wanted to know what was inside their PC. So I use that in my lines. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm still learning as I go, but yes, down in the taglines and stuff like that, I used what's inside of my PC because it is very vague. But hey, it got a bunch of people over here and a lot of people that were actually more knowledgeable than me. So yes, I used hashtags and I used different formats for different videos. We'll get more into that later. But as the subscribers started rolling in, what people don't talk about or tell you about when they're creating is for every one good comment you get, you're going to get hundreds of comments. I know you guys may only see 1,000 comments on my channel, but I've gotten far more than that in terrible comments. And they're going to happen. They're going to come at you left and right, especially the further along you get, you're just going to get more. I chose to turn some of my comments off. Unfortunately, I had to do that because there was a lot of derogatory comments and a lot of comments that YouTube would not appreciate. Now, I started to learn that. How did I learn that? Well, I went to this channel because I had figured out that, yes, I had a base knowledge in my material. So I had to figure out how I was going to get you guys to keep coming back so that I could learn more, because you guys were teaching me just as much as I was learning. As I was editing my first few videos, I started listening to them in the background. This guy named Rob was like, hey, I can show you how to get 1,000 subscribers pretty easy. And everybody says that. There's a million of those channels everywhere. There sure is. But I listened to some of those channels and I started paying attention to the fact that they were all telling me something different. Again, this whole time making videos that I thought you guys wanted to see. And we learned more about that later. But so I continued to listen to, and it shrunk down to Video IQ. And I tell you what, they don't tell you how you should make your channel or what your channel should be about, but they tell you what you should do if you want to expect certain things. And it's not an expectation, because I tell you guys what, a lot of people don't understand, and the reason why I sound like I don't have a voice is because I'd literally be standing in my garage in sub-zero temperatures for the past 60 days screaming into this cell phone to get your guys' attention. But hey, not only am I having a blast, that's part of the reason why you guys keep coming back, is because it's entertaining. I hope you guys are having fun, and if you're learning something, don't forget, slide on over, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, because you all know that channels need to be supported, and that's how it works. All those likes and all those shares and all those subscribes all count to something. Don't let anybody tell you they do not. So now back to, yes, I've been putting in 16-hour days for 60 days doing this, but we did it. We hit over 1,155 subscribers as of right this minute. So I know it's amazing, but yes, while I was editing my first videos, I started listening to Rob over at vidIQ. He was talking about, hey, get a thumbnail. And if you start going through my videos, you'll see where my thumbnails actually started picking up. I started figuring out how to do it with nothing more than the cell phone in my hand. He also spotlighted a woman who ended up getting completely monetized in under 10 weeks. And I just sat there and let that video play because I soaked up all the information that that woman had to give. Why? Because now I'm going down the tracks. People are giving me encouragement, and I'm getting there, and I'm super excited. I'm getting there. 1,000 subs is a very hard thing to do. I started looking up statistics, and I shouldn't have, but it says at that moment in time that it was less than 1% of all channels get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. That's right. There's a reason for that. A lot of people have opinions on why that reason is, but I tell you what, YouTube wants to make sure that not only can you draw people in by using their stuff, but if you can keep them there as well. So yes, there is requirements to get into the YouTube partnership program, but we'll have more later on that. There's a lot of stuff. It just starts caving in on itself. But if you go over there and you just start watching how to get monetized, and you just put that hour-long video on in the background while you guys are editing your video, you are going to pick up so much information. I swear. It was the 15 minutes that changed my life. I continue to listen to him. He isn't telling me how I should and what I should or should not do. And I did pick up some extra tips. I also learned that there will be some people out there in your genre. It doesn't matter what you do, where you're at, or how you're doing it. Even if you're doing it absolutely legal, which I suggest you should. But no matter what you do, there's going to be somebody that's always going to tell you you're doing it wrong. And you're also going to have other people and other YouTube channels that will try to get you into political debates and things like that. And I don't enter into that on my channel. My channel is not about my personal beliefs. It's not about my personal ideals. And it's not about nothing more than what I promised to deliver you. Now, I promise you how you can get your free gold every day. And not only do I promise it, I deliver. It's important to deliver because if you don't deliver to your audience, they're not going to come back. And if they don't come back, they don't subscribe. If they don't subscribe, you don't have a viewer base. If you don't have a viewer base or a core audience, your channel plummets. That's just how it works. Okay, so now that we used our short as advertisement, then we bring you over to the channel. How are we going to get you to click? It's with that thumbnail. That thumbnail is going to have to stand out amongst the sea of other thumbnails. Go look at other people's thumbnails and see how you can vary in your different niche and your different style. That's right, you need to stand out. And you can see where I started to discover my thumbnails along if you look back in my channel. So now what? Now you got a flashy thumbnail. What are you going to do? Well, that title underneath that thumbnail is what people are going to click on. That title is going to get the clicks 100%. Your thumbnail looks great, but if you repeat the same words in the side of your thumbnail that you do in your title, you're wasting space. You got about 30 some characters in that title to get them to click. Now that they clicked on that video, now what? You need to hook them in with a promise of whatever you're doing. With your knowledge and your ability in your field, you need to get them hooked. In my profession and my gold, I show you guys how you can get your free gold every day. I promise you that you can get free gold like this. I explain how you can do it and we break it down. And by the end of that video, sure enough, I've shown you how to get your free gold. Why is that important? Because I'm not clickbait. If you end up in a clickbait section, then people are going to feel unfulfilled. What happens when you feel unfulfilled in your channel? You don't go back to watch their videos. In turn, you don't get the views, you don't get the subs, and then you don't make it to 1,000 subscribers because yes, I didn't even know that was a thing when I started until I got halfway through and I realized it was very important to becoming monetized. But now, I still don't lie. I tell you guys how you can get your free gold and I have a great time doing it. That's part of it. So not only now do I have you at the end of my video, you had a fun time doing it, you probably have something in your household that you can get free gold from and you're super excited. You're going to want to come back to my video and see the next one. Well, how are you going to end your video? You don't dawdle around, you make it short and sweet. You go, hey, thanks a lot. If you guys are learning something new, then hit that like, share, and subscribe on your way through the door. Don't forget to hit that notification bell on your way out. And if you guys can teach me something, please feel free to leave a comment. And for all my subscribers, thanks a lot for coming. And for my wife, I love you. And for my kids, go wash your face.